All right, we are good to go. Let me mute everybody and then we'll take them off mute when we're ready.
Okay.
Ready to talk.
Are we ready?
We are ready. Take it away. Oh, except I muted you. Okay, now you're unmuted.
Okay, great. Excuse me. Welcome to Let's Go District, third week with Linda Parker. And you guys, I don't know about you, but this chapter was so powerful. And I would love to hear from all of you. Not just one person. I want to hear from everyone because I think we're going to have a lot of ahas. And I would also, or we, Kim, this is her idea, would love to hear any wins that you all had this week, along with the homework. So first of all, I know that Linda Parker says things that we've heard before, but we have people on this call like Kelly and Keisha, and hopefully others that have not heard her speak before. And so we have to remember that. I think that she is one of those national vice presidents or executive national vice presidents that her wisdom will probably go on for generations. She is amazing, dynamic, funny as all get out, as we say in the South, and just she gets your blood boiling. And so one of the things that she wanted to stress tonight in this call is how vitally important our I story is. And she called it a why story as well. Vitally important. And one of the things that they always say, and I truly believe this, is if you can go district, that wonderful 2,500 brick that gold brick we call it, you can go nation. Because just remember, 4 of those gold bricks make you an area. 16 of those gold bricks make you an RVP. And when they told little Peyton Moss, when she first started Arbonne at 19, that she asked, what do I need to do to become an RVP? They said, you need to get 16 people with their gold bricks. And she goes, oh, is that all? And she proceeded to do just that. She was that driven, and she was purpose driven to do that. So I want you all to remember, we stress that $2,500 brick for a reason. It's a conduit to get you to wherever you want to go in this business. And like Linda said, you may not want to go to RVP. You may just want to be an area manager. You may just want to make $500 a month. But whatever it is, it's still going to revolve around that $2,500 gold brick. That's how important that is, along with, most important, your I story. One of the things that we want to remember is that our I story, we don't want to be too specific in our I story. We want to cast a wide net in our I story. We hopefully, when we talk to people or when we're with them in presentations or in someone's home, we get to know them a little bit. We kind of get to know, it's our job to get to know maybe some of their dreams or some of their discontents. And so when we know their dreams and their discontents, and we tell our I story, then we want to kind of encompass. We want to use our I story again purposely to encompass some of those dreams and desires that we heard before we started our presentation or before we started, doing the what is it? The Arbonne story. Can't even remember the name of it now. My gosh, I do it all the time. But anyway, also, she said that your I story is far more important than products. Our products are awesome. I don't know that they sell themselves, but I mean, once people get them, they sell themselves. Once they've tried them, they sell themselves. She says, don't put so much emphasis on our products because the catalyst is going to be your I story. And what is the number one goal for us to even give our iStory, to even have a one-on-one, to have a group presentation? What is the number one goal always? Is it to sell products? Absolutely not. We want to sell products and we love to sell products, but it is to find a business builder. And at the end, and I'm going to let you guys address that, but at the end of her training, she talks about all the reasons why we look to sponsor, all the reasons why we want business builders. And it's not just because we want the business builders for ourselves. We love the time leveraging, of course, but it's also to reach out to those who probably are going to need this business for many, many reasons that involve some kind of impact that has affected their lives. And so with that, I want to kind of open it up, Kim, because there's so much here. And I would love to hear from Charlotte and Sandy and Tara and Kelly and Keisha and Teresa and Renee. And so I'm just going to ask you for all of your different ahas. If I need to kind of lead with subjects, I'll be glad to do that. But before I start, we were also going to share some of our wins. Do you want to do that at the end or at the beginning, Kim?
They can just share it when they're ready to share, either about what they found interesting in this call. Just go ahead and add, what your wins were from last week also.
Okay, well, I'll share mine real quick. I am confessing that I did not call 50 people to host. I did not do that. I called a lot of people, but I did not call 50. I believe so much in the reorders. I believe when people have gifts available to them, that it's so important to reach out to them and let them know. And so I had 5 reorders for skincare, and I had 4 nutrition reorders. I also did a vision, Discover Arbonne, with just casting that vision for my new business builder, Tammy, with 2 friends that she really wants on her team. And then we're having a launch this Friday that we've already done. I did several one-on-ones, and I have 1 new PC and 2 in the making, hopefully, that I'll be able to complete this week. And I have earned my district manager bonus. So I'm excited about that. And I've been coaching 9 people, which is a lot, too many, in the healthy living. And I have learned that when it comes to coaching, you've got to get downright in their faces sometimes, because you know what they need sometimes more than what they do. And so I believe in that coaching, because from those 9 people, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that some of them are going to do so well, they're going to want to share this and join my business. And that's why we do that. But I do dearly, dearly love coaching the 30 days. So let's open it up for ahas. And you guys, you can talk about what's important, the elements of the iStory that you felt were so vitally important to you, the tailoring your turning points, like what were the turning points for you personally, and how did you take what Linda said, and about being all in, just any of those things. Just jump right in and share.
One thing I found that I loved, I always like to take away like a little blurb or something, but she said, make this business equal their dreams. So when you're getting to know them, and sometimes it's hard, but I think as you get better, it gets easier, obviously. But if you're picking up on what they need, then you can adapt what you're saying about this business to them to connect it to what they need. And because this business is everything. I mean, it really can fit so many needs. So it really is about how you explain it and how you approach it and how you apply it to that person. And it could be that one person you're talking to in your audience. It could be an audience of 3 people. But if you can adapt your iStory, if you can adapt your Arbonne story to them, then I think that was great. I just thought that making sure that it equals their dreams. And for me, my turning point, I never thought, I used to always look at, I always thought this type of business was like a stay-at-home mom thing and business. And I was a working mom. I had 3 kids when I was introduced to Arbonne, single mom. And I just always was looking for a way out, like not a way out, but just a way to just something better. And I never thought something like this would be that until when I was at Sandy invited me to the party, and the person who did the party for her was, well, I forget who it was. It was her upline. She showed us the income of a district manager, an area manager, a regional manager. And when I saw how much you can make, I was shocked. I never thought you could make this amount of money with this type of business. So for me, that was my turning point. So, and I always bring that up. I always show people how much money you can make, because I don't think people get that. I think people think this is like a hobby for stay-at-home moms type thing. They don't understand the amount of money that's involved in this. And then everything else is just, sprinkles on top. And another thing, and this is, I'll leave it at this, but if I'm correct, Linda Parker went region with only districts. Is that right?
12 districts.
There you go. That to me was always, that always stuck with me, because I think that means a lot. That means a lot how she built her business. She built a very strong business on districts. And if you have that many districts under you, then you can only build wide. You can only get stronger. So
her districts were really strong, those 12. And Jules, didn't Jules go region with only districts?
I believe so.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Teresa. That was awesome.
Can I just ask a question, the terminology? When you're saying builds a business or goes regional with only district, they didn't have any area managers? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That hardly seems possible, does it? But
I know.
Yeah, that's good information.
That's the strength of that 2,500 brick, that gold brick. That's why we call it gold. Yeah. Kelly, since you are talking, you have the floor.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Sure. I'm prepared. I agree with whoever it was. I think it was Kim that said that this was or maybe it was you, Eleanor, that said this was a really powerful week. It was powerful chapters that we read in the book, I believe. It was a powerful presentation. What I loved, my biggest takeaway from the iStory, and it's hard for me to imagine it as a part of the iStory, but it's definitely something I'm going to build in, is the number 9, she called it the number 9. Watch me, watch what I'm doing tonight, because you can do this too. And so to me, that's a great way to bridge the gap that I was having a little hard time with bridging, giving a presentation and then inviting folks. You've done it at the beginning, but then how to kind of weave it back in. So to invite folks to watch what I'm doing, because you can be doing this too, really, really resonated with me. And then in terms of wins, I'm still, I take every little win. So I had some no's this week, and I didn't take them personally. And that was a win for me.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
Because that on some of the latest trainings that I've listened to, they started counting their no's, and they know that when they reach 100 no's, that they're going to be making this much money or be at this level. And when they've reached 1,000 no's, they're going to be at another management level in the company. So and there is a book out there that's called Go for the No. And that's the premise he puts forward in this book, that we don't take the no's personally, that the more no's you get, the more successful you're going to be. Because
it was interesting to me, a couple of the no's were people that are already really entrenched in Arbonne. One is a consumer consultant under her daughter-in-law. She's been with Arbonne for 13 years. So it's just opening my network of who knows
Right.
product, who I can go to say, tell me your favorites, tell me your story. And, you know, so that was also that those couple of no's were, I think, productive.
Very good.
Very good.
Thanks for sharing, Kelly. Who wants to go next?
I'll say a couple things.
All right, Renee.
Okay, so after listening to this call about the iStory, I kind of looked back at my iStory briefly and made a few changes. It was a little more specific in some places and like eliminated a few things. And then I was talking to one of my friends today who I was mentioning to you two earlier. She's always wanted to do the 30 Days to Healthy Living, but she always thought it was too expensive. And she's been saying this for like almost the whole time I've been involved in Arbonne. And so finally today I was like, well, you just have to have a party. You could earn a lot of this back. And she's always saying, well, who am I going to invite? Nobody's going to come. Nobody wants to buy anything. Nobody has the money. And I was like, well, I know these two people that are her friends that are already interested in 30 days, but they keep him-hawing around. I said, just call them and say, hey, I'm having this party. I definitely want to do the 30 days. I want you guys to join me, be my accountability partners. And so she went ahead and did that and got those people interested. And so she's going to have a Facebook party with me. So my win, a big win for me, is having my first Facebook party ever. And Anna's been helping me a little bit because I've been on hers. And it's really weird because part of the thing of that call, actually it was another call that I think somebody told us to listen to. Or did I do it myself? I can't remember. But this whole call that I just listened to this week was about Facebook parties. And I never had one. I just thought that'd be interesting. And here I am having to have one. So it came in so handy.
Yeah.
Along with the advice of Anna. And I don't know. I feel like it's such a big win for me. I did get somebody to buy an ASVP. And hopefully with this Facebook party, another 2. I'm hoping. Let's see, what were the other things? I didn't quite finish all my reading on the Dare to Dream. I'm like in chapter 5, but didn't have a chance to finish it. But I'm definitely going to finish it because it's so good. I had 2 intentional conversations, not 4. And yeah, I did not call 50 people to host. Sorry about that. I really didn't. I'm in the business of selling the business, so I have a lot on my mind.
Yeah. That truly, out of all of the homework, was the hard one to do. And the fact of the matter is, you know, Linda Parker's been around for a long time. She is one of the most successful ENVPs in Arbonne. And she tells us what homework to have. And it is guaranteed that if you can do all the homework, you're going to promote. I mean, it's without a shadow of a doubt. She's been doing this so long, and she's been doing these Let's Go District calls so long that she knows if you do her homework, you are going to promote through the company without a shadow of a doubt, because, you know, it's a numbers game. It's being an activity. It's doing the do. And if you can do all of the homework, you're going to promote. Now, granted, you know, full disclosure, like Eleanor said this, you know, earlier, and what Melissa said last week, you know, full disclosure, not all of us do all of the homework all the time, but the fact of the matter is, how hungry are you? If you are extremely hungry and you want to promote up to the top of Arbonne right now, you're going to do the homework. You're not going to let, you know, any of your excuses or anything that goes on in your life get in your way. If it is so important for you to promote to the top of the company right now, because if you do the homework every week, as she says, without a shadow of a doubt, you're going to promote to the top level of Arbonne. You're going to promote to district and beyond. And that's just the fact of the matter. So, you know, with Eleanor saying she didn't do some of the homework, Alyssa last week didn't do some work, I didn't do some of the homework. I also didn't do the 50 calls. I made 12, I think. You know, 12. That's a pretty pitiful number when it comes out of 50. But you know what? I did get out of 12. I got 1 party booked. Why would you do 50? Because you're probably going to get 4 parties out of 50. You know, out of 50 calls, you're going to get 4 parties. And what was our homework last week? It was to book 2 parties for this current week and 2 parties for the next week. That's why she said 50, because the statistics show that out of 50 people, you're going to get about 4 people to agree to host for you. So, you know, we all have life, we all have things going on, and it just depends upon how hungry you are. You know, how quickly do you want to promote through the company? These calls will always be available. They are archived. They will always be available. So if you come to a point next month or next week and you're like, okay, I am ready to fly to the top, then you can start with call 1, do all the homework. Call 2, do all the homework. You can do this on your own. You don't have to have a group of people. Listen to call 3, do all the homework. Call 4, do all the homework. And if you do 6 calls, if you do all 6 calls and do all the homework, guaranteed that at the end of that time, you're going to be a district manager on your way to area. And so, you know, that's, you know, and so when we get on here and say we didn't do the homework, it just goes to show you that, you know, right now, and you know, me being a regional vice president, it pains me to say that I didn't do all the homework, because I'm like, oh my gosh, that means that I don't want it that bad because I didn't do all the homework. And, you know, but we all have life, and we all know we will get through it, and we will do what we need to do to move our businesses forward. So it's, you know, you're the CEO of your own company. You're the CEO of your own business, and so you will do what you need to do. We're all here to encourage you, to inspire you, and to motivate you. And, you know, I hope each and every one of us grabs hold of these district calls and does the homework. Because if you're like me, taking the notes, I have a notebook here with each week's call, and I have the homework. I handwrite it out like the old days. I handwrite it out. So, and I check off what I do. So I know next month, if I want to go back and look at all of these, I can go back and do all of the homework week by week by week, and know that I'm going to move my business forward.
Yeah.
All right, so
Kim,
I'm going to go ahead, Eleanor.
Oh, no, go ahead and finish. I was just going to say something when you finish.
No, I was finished. I said I'm just going to open it up now to anybody else.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, though, when you have to remember, if you didn't do the homework, don't let it, or if you look at it and it just looks so huge that you shut down, don't allow yourself to shut down. You know, you still want to stretch. You go for the 50. And if you get 30 or 35 or 40 or 15 or 12 or whatever, just make sure that every single day that you are stretching. I mean, even if you're a little bit fatigued, or even if there's a lot going on, use those nooks and crannies. Charlotte Schaefer uses nooks and crannies better than anybody I know. But just stretch. Don't be complacent, and don't give up, like what she says at the end. And there's still so many things that you can do to build your business. And so don't shut down when you see something that you might think is insurmountable. You attack it anyway, and you do as much as you can. And some days you might even do it all. You'll be surprised.
That's right. And, you know, as the old saying goes, you know, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. So if it looks huge, you know, work on just one part of the homework and do as much as you can. And the next day, look at it and do what you can. Every little bit moves our businesses forward.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Want to share? All right, well, we're coming up on 30 minutes, so I will go ahead and talk about this week's homework. Let me swirl over here. All right, so week 3, our homework is read chapters 6 through 9, Dare to Dream, Work to Win. And if you don't have Dare to Dream, Work to Win, and you do have Get Over Your Damn Self, it's chapters 5 through 8. It's really interesting how they parallel a little bit. You know, it's basically the same information, just from a different perspective. The second part of the homework is book and hold 2 group presentations in the next 7 days. We are coming up on, this is the next to last week of the month. If your QV is 0 or is less than what you want it to be, we all still have plenty of time to reach that $2,500 QV gold brick. plenty of time with 2 weeks left. And especially if you schedule and hold 2 presentations this week before next Monday, you're going to get a good chunk of it then, because just as Linda Parker says, the average party is around 500 QB, with many of them being upwards of $800 to $1,000, just depending on how many people you have. All right, so the third piece of homework is book 2 group presentations for the last week of the month. That way you are assured of reaching your goals for the month of August. The fourth part is write out your I story. And just as Renee did, if you've already written your I story, go back and look at it again and use her tips to improve on your I story. And feel free to share your I story with your upline so that they can help you improve that. Because just as Linda Parker said, when we're doing a one-on-one or when we're doing a group presentation, the most important part of that presentation is our I story, because it is what really shares the opportunity, shows the other person what is available for them in Arbonne. And, as Romy says in Get Over Your Damn Self, she likes to use the what's in it for them. So when you tell your I story, you also want to allude to what would Arbonne do for them? How would it look in their lives? And so that's how we kind of adjust our I story to our audience. Number 5, who are 2 people you would love to have in your business, and call them and have an intentional conversation. So those are the 5 parts of homework that we have for before next week. And I will say that next week's homework is not as daunting as last week.
Yeah, absolutely.
As I look at this week's homework, I'm like, I can do this week's homework. It's not quite as daunting. So, just really starting tonight when we get off of here, if you still have a few minutes before it's time to go to bed, you can work on that I story, or you can send out a couple text messages or phone calls to get a couple group presentations on your schedule for this week. So just remember that our number 1 goal for one-on-ones and group presentations is to find a business builder. And the reason we're looking for business builders, because it is those business builders who will duplicate what we do. And that is how we leverage our time, is when we have people duplicate what we do. Because we know, as each one of you know, it is a consultant who is a product of the product, who uses everything and continues to buy and then shares in that same way. Although we love our PCs, we love our preferred clients, but it is the consultants. It is when you build your team with consultants, that's where the ripple effect starts. That's where the duplication goes, because they will become products of the product, and they will teach other people how to become a product of the product. And in the end, our end goal is really to expose as many people to this amazing opportunity that we call Arbonne, because it is life-changing for us, and then for so many other people out there who have not even heard about Arbonne yet. So with that, we're going to wrap it up. Eleanor?
Bill, I have one more question. I want to play devil's advocate real quick. And you guys can go away if you want. I know it's late. Okay, Romy and Linda Parker have a different time limit on their iStories. Linda Parker says it needs to be 10 minutes. And Romy, remember, she does not believe it needs to be 10 minutes. Okay, so what do you guys think? Because that's, really, what do you think?
I personally, I think it depends upon what you're presenting. If you're doing a one-on-one and it's a business, you're looking for a business partner, your iStory can be definitely 10 minutes. Definitely. If you're doing a party where you're doing product presentation, your iStory needs to be pretty quick, like 3 minutes. And when you're doing the presentation, you can throw bits and pieces of your story out in that. But because people come to parties with the intention of they want to see products, they want to test them, they want to hear about them, because that's what they're there for. And so I say you tell your story at the beginning, you weave a little bit in between, and then at the end you recap about the story, about, you know, asking people to come on board. So that's
Yeah.
what
I agree. I thought the same thing. There's different lengths for different, you know, there's certain things you're going to leave out with certain people, just like, and it's like Linda Parker said, you make the business equal their dreams. So you make your story, you adapt the same thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Great. That's what I was thinking too. And just one more thing. Anybody want to comment on the ending and the parachute analogy? When she talks about POW that went down, and then she talks about the parachute, and then she talks about us as parachute packers. Was anyone affected by that as much as me? I don't know.
But you have to take this seriously. I think that's what that was. You're saving lives out there. As much as we're selling lipsticks, we really are changing people's lives. And I think that's what she's just trying to say. You really are changing lives. And when you speak to people in the right way, and the people who need to hear what you have to say. So yeah.
Wonderful. And she said, who are we to decide who gets to have this business and who doesn't? So I'd love to end on that, because we are parachute packers. Somebody packed a parachute for me, for sure. So yeah, just remember that. Because that to me is it goes deep, you know, that goes deep, it roots deep. And I think it helps us to have courage to share this business with others.
Yeah.
It's so important. So, all right, Miss Kim, I think this was it. I love it.
Thanks everyone for being on tonight, and we'll see you next Monday evening for the 4th call.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night, Sandy.